Happy Friday the 13th, guys. We can discuss the franchise. We can discuss some Friday the 13th fan films. Let's just talk about this amazing franchise on this amazing Friday the 13th day. You guys can tell me what your favorite movies in the franchise are. You guys can tell me what some of your favorite Friday the 13th fan films are. Here, I'll go first. My favorite movies in the Friday franchise, my top two easily are the 2009 remake and the final chapter, part 4. I love both of these Friday the 13th movies. I also like Jason Lives, Jason X, yes, the one where Jason goes to space, I have a ton of fun with. Friday the 13th part 7 is pretty good. Friday the 13th parts 2 and 3 they're okay. They're pretty good. Jason Takes Manhattan sucks. That movie sucks. Because it was misleading. And Jason was barely in Manhattan. It should have been called Jason Takes a Boat Ride on the Way to Manhattan. Jason Goes to Hell the Final Friday. That's a weird one, but I kind of like how weird that one is. With Jason's spirit possessing people. Yeah, that one is pretty dang weird. It's weird, but it's a fun kind of weird. Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning is. That one I think is okay. Of course, Freddy vs. Jason is a ton of fun. Because it's really the only horror versus movie to have, Freddy versus Jason. And it's freaking awesome. Of course, Freddy and Jason's fight scenes, the kills are amazing. Like when Jason stabs the one guy through the bed and then folds the bed in half. That kill was awesome. And the corn massacre sequence where Jason's on fire. And he kills all of those people at the party in the cornfield. That sequence is awesome. Robert Englund's final performance as Freddy is, of course, really good, and he definitely went out with a bang. Because it's that perfect mix of scary Freddy and funny Freddy. Just like what we had with Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warriors, my favorite Elm Street movie in that franchise. All the fun scenes when they're fighting each other are awesome. Like the scene where Jason grabs Freddy and freaking slams him through all those windows. That scene is freaking awesome. And the whole fight in the dream world where Freddy just gets to kick the crap out of Jason. That scene is really cool. And of course, one thing you could say about most of the Friday movies, yes, a lot of the characters are definitely cannon fodder for Jason to just, mess up and tear into. And And even in Freddy vs. Jason, sure, you don't really have, sure, the characters aren't really much really to write home about because we're pretty much there for Freddy and Jason, the title characters of the movie. And I even like the storyline. Why they start fighting, it's because of Freddy being powerless and not being feared. And if you guys remember, of course, that watch the Elm Street movies, fear is, of course, what powers Freddy and gives him his power. And so I like the fact that he tricks Jason into going to Elm Street. But Jason, of course, being the beast that he is, won't stop killing people. Plus, Jason is really easy to manipulate because one, he doesn't speak, and two, he's a beast, pretty much. That would just kill anyone in his way. Whether it be, of course, teenager, adult, and so I like that whole aspect of the movie as well. Of course, the ending of the movie, where they're fighting each other on the Crystal Lake dock, and they're both bloodied up, and they're it's just so awesome if you're a Nightmare or a Friday the 13th fanatic. Of course, me being the Nightmare fanatic, of course, Freddy's my guy, so I'm a casual at best Friday the 13th fan. But when it comes to the Elm Street movies, yeah, I'm an Elm Street fanatic, so of course I'm rooting for Freddy throughout the whole movie every time I watch it. And I know a lot of people like to complain about the Friday the 13th remake. Oh, Jason doesn't run. Jason doesn't run. Did you watch Friday the 13th? 2, 3, and 4? Jason was hauling ass in those movies. Oh, why would he take the main lead character as a hostage? Because she looks like his mother? When you really look at it, though, Jason is pretty much kind of like Leatherface in a way, to where he's mentally challenged. I can't really say the big R word on here, but you guys know what I mean. He's mentally inept. I mean, yes, Jason can definitely be smart in some movies, like the Friday the 13th remake, to where he has an underground tunnel beneath Crystal Lake, and he has hunting skills, like the scene where you see with the bow, where the guy gets the bow and arrow in the head. And he's definitely strong physically, but he's not strong mentally. And that's how Freddy was able to manipulate him in Freddy vs. Jason, because Jason's not really all that smart. He's strong physically, yes, he's powerful and strong, but he's not all that smart. Like say Michael. Michael is more smart than Jason, I'll say. And of course, all the Friday the 13th fan films that I've seen, they're really good as well. Like, I love the Never Hike Alone movies. All three of them, Never Hike Alone, Never Hike in the Snow, and Never Hike Alone 2. I love those fan films. I like the My Special Boy fan film. I liked Voorhees. That was a pretty good Friday the 13th fan film. I liked the Michael versus Jason fan film. Michael versus Jason, Evil Emerges. That was an awesome fan film. And another thing as well, I see Friday the 13th fans complain about. Oh, why was Jason scared of water at Freddy vs. Jason when he's been in the water and in the lake itself throughout most of the franchise and this? And look, guys, Freddy was getting inside of Jason's head. And through Jason seeing water, the thing that drowned him as a child when he was a kid. That was just another way for Freddy to use that against Jason, water. And then, of course, we got the scene where it flashes back to 1950s or so, Crystal Lake, and it was revealed that Freddy was pretending to be a camp counselor, and then he drowns Jason as a kid when it goes into that dream sequence flashback scene. And of course, the kills. There's a lot of really good kills in the Friday franchise. Of course, Part 4 has a lot of really great kills. The corkscrew kill. The first kill of the movie where the guy gets the hacksaw to the neck and then Jason twists his head. Of course, every time in the franchise where Jason grabs somebody's head and crushes it with his bare hands, every time we see that, that's awesome. Friday the 13th, Part 7 with the sleeping bag. Where he takes the girl in the sleeping bag and whack! Smacks her against the tree. Yes, I do agree that all the other kills were cut down due to the MPAA and all that stuff. And you don't really get to see much and it cuts away. Yeah, that is true, and I do wish that Friday the 13th Part 7 there was a way to watch to get the unrated kill scenes in there without having to look at like really crappy looking. It's like really crappy, grainy looking VHS quality if you have the Friday the 13th Part 7 DVD and you go to special features and it shows, you go to the uncut kills special feature where it'll show the full extended kill scenes, but in really crappy looking VHS low quality though. I think that is definitely kind of odd. Are you guys excited for the upcoming Crystal Lake Friday the 13th TV series? Part of me is worried because it's done by A24, and you guys know how I feel about A24 at this point. I don't really care for their artsy fartsy style of horror movie filmmaking. And now they're going to do the same thing with Texas Chainsaw. But I'll still give it a watch and check it out because hey, I'm a horror fan. And it's about time we finally get something Friday the 13th related. Also, what did you guys think about the Friday the 13th short film we got a few months back last year? I seem to be one of the only few people that actually liked that short film. I know a lot of people hated it, but I didn't hate it. I actually liked that. Because, hey, at least it was finally something Friday the 13th related. And I would much rather have that than still sit here today and be like, man, I wish we got something Friday the 13th related after the 2009 remake. I mean, that boat propeller kill in that Friday the 13th short film where Jason took the boat propeller and he freaking and cut that guy's face off. Like that one kill alone in that short film was badass. Plus, we've never seen that before. Jason used a boat propeller to kill someone. And that kill definitely did remind me a lot of the tree saw kill where Jason used the tree saw on that one doctor character in Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood. Yeah, that boat propeller kill in the Friday the 13th short film reminded me of that. Also, who is your favorite actor to portray Jason? Mine definitely Derek Mears from the Friday the 13th remake. Kane Hodder I like. Ted White from Friday the 13th, the final chapter would be my second favorite. Rest in peace to him. Also, rest in peace to Richard Brooker from Friday the 13th Part 3, 3D. CJ Graham is a good Jason from Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives. Ken Kersinger is a good Jason in Freddy vs. Jason. I'll be right back, guys. Gotta go grab a drink. I'm back. Oh, wait a minute. Oh. Hang on, guys. I'll be right back. By the way, speaking of which, today's the 16th anniversary of the Friday the 13th 2009 remake. No, wait, the 17th anniversary of the Friday the 13th remake. So make sure you guys go and make sure you guys wish a very happy 17th anniversary to the Friday the 13th 2009 remake. Oh man, I should have worn my Friday the 13th Jason shirt today because today's Friday the 13th. And of course, you gotta look the part. But hey, that's okay though. That's okay though, guys. If you guys, of course, have the Friday the 13th movie collection in your guys' household, definitely go watch them because, hey, it's Friday the 13th. Also, go check out some Friday the 13th fan films, especially if you guys haven't seen the ones that I've already listed, because I think that those Friday the 13th fan films are definitely the best. Some of the best, anyway. Heck yeah. I would say out of the big four horror movie icons, Jason and Michael have the most fan films. Chucky and Freddy, not really so much. In terms anyway of big quality movie like fan films. Yes, we did have the Charles Chucky fan film, and yes, we did have the Dylan's New Nightmare on Elm Street fan film, which both of those are really great, really fantastic. But my two favorite horror movie icons definitely deserve more big quality fan films, in my personal opinion. Also, let me know if you guys collect any Jason Friday the 13th masks. If I, Trust me, if I had a Friday the 13th Jason mask, I would be wearing it right now for the stream. But I don't. I apologize, by the way, if some of you guys are at school or at work during this stream, so I just wanted to come on here really quickly and talk some Friday the 13th. Because today is, well, Friday the 13th. Hope you guys all have a safe and fantastic Friday the 13th. Watch some of the movies. Play the Friday the 13th game if you still have it. And watch some Friday the 13th fan films. Hang on, guys. I'm getting a text. Oh, it's my good buddy Jared Robertson Studios. I am doing a Friday the 13th stream right now. If you want to join in on the fun. Sorry about that, guys. My friend on YouTube, Jared Robertson Studios. Just liked my comment that I sent on one of his posts. I'll be right back, guys. Gotta use the bathroom real quick. Well, here's a good question. What are some of your guys' favorite Jason looks? Both masked or unmasked Jason looks. My favorite Jason unmasked look is definitely Friday the 13th Part 7 New Blood. That unmasked look of Jason is awesome. And the fact that we go from that to one of his worst looks, unmasked looks in Friday the 13th Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, it's insulting. It's crazy. Because you go from that badass look in Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood, to him looking like he's microwaved and slimy. Heck, that's one of Jason's worst designs in the whole franchise. Period. Where it's looking all wet and slimy and looks like he hasn't. It looks like he's been microwaved. And for some weird reason, his mask was yellow in that movie instead of the eggshell white that we know hockey mask that we know his hockey mask color to be. Looks like somebody pissed all over his mask when he was wearing it in that movie. I like the Uber Cyber Jason look in Jason X. That look is awesome. Oh yeah, speaking of kill scenes, how could I not mention the iconic liquid nitrogen kill from Jason X? Where he grabs the girl's face and he dunks it into the liquid nitrogen, pulls it back up, and then slams her head right down on the table. That kill is awesome. That kill is also one of his best. I like his sack head design from the Friday the 13th remake at the beginning. That sack head design is definitely better than the sack head look that he had in Friday the 13th Part 2, to where it looks like he's wearing it looks like he's literally wearing a pillow cover up on his face with the one eye hole. Was never really that big of a fan of his design in Friday the 13th Part 2. But I like the sack head design that he has in the Friday the 13th remake, the first opening portions of that remake. And that whole entire Friday the 13th remake, that opening scene is the best Friday the 13th anything, in my personal opinion. Because that whole, 10 or so minutes of that opening scene, it goes crazy. I mean, when he was literally burning the one girl in her sleeping bag alive, I mean, my gosh, holy. I mean, yeah, we've seen Jason be brutal in the past, but that kill alone, you're like, oh damn! And he's setting up, and he was setting up traps. One of the few times we actually do get to see Jason's intelligence. Like that whole aspect as well I liked about the Friday the 13th remake. The fact that he was able to set up traps and be more smarter. What's your favorite Jason defeat? That's another good one. Because I wouldn't really say death because, he comes back at the end of in every single movie sequel. But what's your guys' favorite chase and defeat? There's Friday the 13th Part 4 where Kid Tommy Jarvis, played by Corey Feldman, took his own machete and whacked him right across the face with it, and then he just slides down onto the machete like, oh man, those Tom Savini effects. Awesome. There's the whole barn finale at the end of Friday the 13th Part 3. I mean, that was pretty cool. Definitely his worst death is definitely in the same movie that I keep calling the piece of crap, which is Friday the 13th Part 8 Jason Takes Manhattan. Or for some weird reason, toxic sludge, it looked like, or water or whatever it is, floods through the sewers every night, and he gets swept away by that, and then he gets defeated, and then like the kid version of himself comes out, and you're like, what? What is going on? The big final showdown at the end of Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood, is really good. Between him and Tina. The wannabe Carrie telekinesis character. But yeah, that whole scene was awesome. Especially, of course, because he got that badass unmasked Jason design. I already mentioned the big final showdown at the end of Freddy vs. Jason. The end of the Friday the 13th remake, that whole final showdown was really cool. Where he gets chained up and then he slowly gets grinded up into a wood chipper. Like, that is freaking gnarly. Hopefully, though, you guys all have a great and happy Friday the 13th to each and every one of you. I love you guys. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos. And don't forget to hit the bell icon right next to the subscribe button so you guys get notified when I upload brand new videos. And with that, happy Friday the 13th. Peace.